Definitely say this for y'all. Gotta record this on both accounts. So I ain't gonna wait too long, you know what I mean? For everybody to come in. But today I just wanted to show facts, you know what I'm saying? Like, I be inspired by everyday life. I'm militant, so certain things happen in my life, and this is how I feel I can attack them. You know what I'm saying? Or relieve myself sometimes too. So sorry for people who hear me say the same thing sometimes, but I can tell when I walk outside, a lot of people obviously are not living by them principles, or act like they don't know, or they just don't care. So with that being said, I just want to, put out facts for y'all, from, financial literacy to laws. What it do, Niche? Hey, how you been? What it do? Like I said, I'm saving it, so y'all can come in and, check this shit out whenever y'all get bored. You at dinner, brunch, wherever y'all is, you know what I'm saying? Or wherever y'all going out tonight. I'll be out tonight too, though, but just check this shit out, man. I'm gonna just do a couple of things. I'm gonna get straight to it right now. Shalom, Queen, Islam, peace. Greetings, I say. However people want to say it. We multilingual. Hey, I'm gonna start off with where we at, you know what I'm saying? Since we're in America. And we're gonna differentiate the land from the corporation. Let me turn this music down. I had a dream like MLK. Anyway, let me show you how to differentiate the land from the corporate status. A lot of people need to see this in black and white. Excuse me, I'm recording on two things. So I got to do my YouTube thing, not because I'm trying to get paid. This is why people been, I guess, pressing me to do stuff like this, but I'm more like, what are we gonna do about it? I got enough people around me. Fuck YouTube. I'm used to the days without phone. I got enough people around me that we should be able to invest into each other, into common goals. But a lot of people around me have different goals, and now we have to prioritize them and see which goal will help us get to our next goal faster. And showing you things like this will show you their organization, and you'll understand the life you're living in America, in the United States. So we don't have to complain no more. We can come to solutions. There's a lot of beautiful people thinking these days, though. We're coming to a lot of solutions. And if everybody had this common knowledge, that's why I say when I look out, it can't be common because people move different. It ain't like you just ignoring it on purpose. It's that we are too lazy, or we done spent 13 years in school and somebody else telling us what to do for all this time, and now we ready to just do what we want. And that was on purpose, to make you anxious. And again, I tell people it's not about racism, but I always talk for my people. Just like anybody else should talk for their people. I don't even believe in racism, because if that's the case, you're admitting that you're depending on another race. And we shouldn't be, first of all, in America. That's the whole point of this life. And this whole point of me spitting this knowledge and promoting and blowing the trumpet for God, as the Bible say, to the Quran, to the Torah. It's them times. A lot of our people have been confused and been calling themselves African American, which is two continents. Then we get the definition of a continent from our oppressors. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to say it's white or black. It has nothing to do with white or black. It has something to do with knowledge, who have it and who don't got it. Just like who got material, who have the resources, and who don't got it. The haves and the have-nots is what it have came to. Classism is what it is. And your own people who look just like you have deceived you on purpose. This is the devil's contract, so they can benefit off the resources in the world off your ignorant behalf, because you don't even know what to do with your share. You get what I'm saying? You get a share of the world too. This is what go back to the 42 laws of Man Act and all this Egyptian stuff that we claim. But we need to bring it back here, because we understand that the oldest mounds and the pyramids come to America. So let's start with America. We got the United States law. What is this? Title 28, subsection 3002, definitions, y'all, of United States. This is in black and white. That's what we like. Let's have a paperwork party. For y'all be thinking J.R. Mobile SETI. My national name is Zeta Rufi, if anybody else want to. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. This is in black and white. What it do, y'all? What it do, Queen? What it do, Queen? Shout out to the Queens. That's what we need to know this for sure. The United States means a federal corporation, y'all. An agency, department, commission, or board, or other entity of the United States. Or an instrumentality of the United States. You know what I'm saying? Give me 1 second. Somebody calling me. As soon as I do it, somebody called me. One second, y'all. Nope, wasn't my name just called. Anyway, um, yeah, this is in black and white. United States is a federal corporation, y'all. Agency, department, commissions, board, or any other entity of the United States. Because since y'all, if y'all didn't know, all of their authority has delegated to their corporate side since they went broke in 1933, and they had to come up with the compensation and remedies to keep sovereign, which was the Federal Reserve note, which makes the Federal Reserve or the United States Corporation holding de facto sovereignty, if that makes sense. And it's de facto because the original United States is a trust, and they're just holding the records and the assets and the property for that trust. Let's go into it. That's crazy. Talking about assets, they say choose a different asset. Let's talk about pictures. Boom. Property. Property, and it's crazy because this is what we say improper syntax, which means they didn't write the meanings down right, or they didn't write the definitions down right, or articulate them proper. Because remember, you're not put a pit when you're explaining a definition, you're not supposed to put the word inside of the word. Got me? So anyway, property includes any property which has future interest, whether legal or equitable, and real or personal. It also includes the choices of actions, like in a trust or will, say that your daughter or son or basically your children cannot get this amount until they complete college or certain stuff like that. Those are part of property because it should be written on paper. That can be part of an account, what you call a trust fund. And those trust funds have actions and obligations, or we call duties, like the United States call it. And you can give out your own duties within your family. So this is what I mean when I articulate myself to the T, and I tell you that it's detrimental that our families are broken up down to the point we don't even know how to control our families or write wills and the testimonies, because that's what they're doing, and they're fulfilling those testimonies or them wills or obligations or duties and getting compensated for it. This is what we should be doing within our family. But that goes back to financial literacy and wealth building, generational wealth building. You feel what I'm saying? Then our parents can get that respect and all that stuff that the elders want and all this stuff, but they can't because they're not hiring us. We still ain't in a place where dark people, that we call black, is hiring people. Why? Because we're missing the points, and these are the points I'm connecting, y'all. Again, we started with United States Title 28-3002. It's a federal corporation. That changes the whole dynamics. It ain't got nothing to do with the land. But when you start getting into these instrumentalities, as they call them, and start reading them and understand how you're supposed to act upon them, you'll see your freedom clearly. You'll say, oh, I'm part of the land and I'm American. Then I didn't get to the part that you are American, not African American, American. And your same oppressors, going back to what I was saying 10 minutes ago, teach you these continents and teach you that Europe is a continent. So let's break this ice now and let you know your confidence or the dependency that you have in your oppressor who you think teaching you right. Let's show you right now that they're teaching you wrong. The definition of a continent, and let me show you why they use these improper definitions, because they actually contradict themselves. In a way, Europe is not a continent because the definition of a continent is to be surrounded by all bodies of water and should be an ocean. Europe is not surrounded by all bodies of water. It's connected to India or Asia. And on a tectonic plate, it's actually Indo-European is what it's called. So, with that being said, we are brainwashed. Like that easy. And it ain't about no conspiracies. We ain't got to go into no deep thought about it. Just that surface base should show you. Like, you're right. The definition of a continent means it's surrounded by all water. You look up on Google, just zoom out, look up Europe. It's not surrounded by all water. So what the fuck are we learning here? Excuse my language. I had to bring the serious in it. Let's go back. So that's what I mean, that it's pertinent for you to get what I'm saying. Because again, go back to financial literacy, to how you move every day, to what you're saving money for, which you shouldn't be really saving money for unless you're using that to uh, invest into another mechanic or another vehicle that's going to help you produce more money. Now, if we just saving money just to save money for rainy days, that's kind of begging on a rainy day, and that kind of doesn't work because you don't know how much is going to pile up, how many problems going to pile up at once. So, via I had a car problem now. I'm like, damn, I'm in between going to rent a car, and I'm gonna spend that much money, or if I could just be patient for another 2 days. So, again, this is what I mean by organization and pressures and things that this knowledge can cure. You feel what I'm saying? So, property. Again, it's equitable and real, personal, or includes actions or obligations, as we just went into. Tangible or intangible, which means it could be physical in the physical, or it could be an invention that you wrote down, like I have here. Here we go. We got jeans and stuff that I was doing. Jeans coming out. Check out Free Earth, y'all. So this is intangible. Now, say I come up with more designs that I never finished, and I give these designs to my daughter, and I put in here that she owns them, then she owes them. But this is an intangible. It's not this physical. You can physically touch this book, but the book is not the actual asset. It's the designs that's on this book. So that's intangible because it came from my head, but it's an asset. So that's assets, y'all. That's what we talking about, or intangible assets. Tangible assets would be like a house, watch, gold jewelry, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let's say vested or contingent. Contingent means as in if so, upon these duties. Like, again, going back to the child, if you put your child on a trust fund, you're like, well, if he get all A's, then he get to get 100,000 instead of just 50,000. You know what I'm saying? So it's contingent upon your obligations being fulfilled. So including the community property and property held in trust. Now y'all got to look up a trust because that's what United States is, and that's what each state is a trust. And now they made a corporation that extends from the trust, so they can what? Be responsible or act through the trust of the United States or the trust of that state and control those resources. That's it. So you got like state of Maryland, which is running the trust of Maryland. Two different things. How do I tell you this again? Keep it simple. So when you do an LLC, right? Your name, anybody that runs businesses, you know this. Your name matters to the T. My bad, it's reconnecting. Your name matters to the T. So if your name is Maryland, then your name is Maryland on the LLC, on it, whether it's a trust, a corporation, 501c3, whatever it is, right? But if you change it to the state of Maryland, which is on your charges, on your traffic and tickets, on all that, you see it's a difference. When you go to court, it's a state of Maryland. That is a corporation. There's no doubt about it. No conspiracy, no conscious community need to come out. We don't. Dr. Umar Johnson, keep reconnecting. Dr. Umar Johnson don't need to come out and tell you none of that. This is not an intellectual. This is something that you all should know. This is what I'm saying. This should be common sense. But it's not. That's why common sense ain't common no more. And people walking around and don't connect with people. Like, nigga, y'all all American. But we can't connect on the same thing. You all can wear skinny jeans and J's. You all can pass rumors around quick as the word Jesus and all this other stuff. But you tell me we can't do these or know these common knowledges to help bring better solutions for our communities? Other than violence and a lack of resources, but we don't lack guns. I'm just letting y'all know it's a setup. So I'm just showing y'all in black and white. Trying to articulate myself better for the gangsters, for the nerds, for the 9-to-5ers, for whoever you are. If you live in America, your obligation is to make it a better environment. And don't complain each and individual time it happens to you or it's your turn. And then look at somebody else when it's their turn. It's going to happen to you again. Exactly. Until we think like a human, because that's what humans do. We can think ahead of time and prevent and prepare. But what happens is, again, the conspiracy is that somebody's against that. They want you to stay on the minimum level so they can capitalize off you because we live in capitalism. So when you get that, you get these basics, you'll be able to see clearly who's doing that, why they're doing that, and how you have a solution to stop it. Because I do, and it's for all of us. One, you got to know that you're not black, know that you're American. Knowing that you're American gives you hereditary laws, hereditary rights. That means you're the first class in America because you're American. All these other people are foreigners, including the people that want to stay African American. If you want to believe that you came on a boat, which you didn't, and you African American, then the people that did come from Africa, because we do have people that's literally, we got Africans still coming over today and getting their little visa card just like Spanish people. Anyway, Spanish people are actually American because it's one continent. One continent. There you go. Almost in two divisions, but it's one continent. They teach you North and South, and then a Central. But if you go to Central America or Mexico, they don't know nothing about that. They just know North and South. So these are divisions that are intangible. It's not real. These things are not real because we're supposed to count them by the whole tectonic plate. So America is one continent. But long story short, again, when you know that you got hereditary rights and you're the kings and queens that they're talking about in the Constitution that the states can't make contracts with, then you realize this what makes us nationals and federal. And we're the ones that's supposed to be putting the pressure on them to make better laws and make our environments better. Let's keep reading so we know. Let's read the definitions of persons where we go to. Persons includes natural persons, and again, I told you this is improper syntax because you never use a definition within the definition. Anyway, persons includes a natural person, including an individual Indian, corporation, a partnership, an unincorporated association, an estate, a trust, which is behind my picture, or any other public and private entity, including the state or local government or an Indian tribe. Why? Because states and local governments with these unincorporated towns and stuff are private. So how are they having police to give you tickets? But I'm going to leave it alone because we want to create public safety. And I get the highest idea of it, but I get how somebody also is manipulating it and over abusing their power and authority. And if we don't know this, then we can't do nothing about it. Do you see? And now you're wasting time calling out of work, going to court for fake traffic tickets, doing, which is depriving you of your rights according to Title 28. Title 28. I'm sorry. Title 18, Section 242, Deprivation of Rights, under colorable of laws. Because them judges are not actual Article 3 judges, which means they are not appointed by the judge. They are appointed by another judge to fulfill the other judge who was appointed by the president duties. So these are telephone pass down things, and you agree for them to judge you on certain things that don't even matter. Like traffic, and nobody got hurt, none of that. You was going 2 miles over, so you're just trying to create revenue, which is actually soliciting the bill, and you're not incorporated with the state, or the state is not incorporated with the feds. Boom! See, I'm talking scholarly stuff right now. Let's go to it. Since people think I'm just talking. I'm talking stuff that's scholars, and these are Masons that want to keep stuff. And I'm not mad at it because I guess it creates order, form of peace. But again, for whom it doesn't, just like when they didn't have peace at one time, when they was catching scurvy, measles, and mumps, which is all the same diseases because they had a lack of minerals and a lack of salt, like not just table salt. We talking about real salt. Look up the 12 salts, essential salts, y'all. You got like potassium, magnesium is a salt, and you ain't know it. It's different real minerals that are real salt, good for the body to help preserve the muscles, help preserve different proteins. This is what make a protein. Protein has to be amino acids stuck with minerals. And if you don't have the right minerals, your body become deformed. You start getting malnourished and start thinking different. You start having a slower mindset. So they're creating dumbness. They're creating retardation. But I'm gonna keep going. So you see what person means. It means Walmart these days. It means McDonald's. It's a corporation. Why? Because the state itself is a corporation. What happens is when you get into more law, you realize only corporations can talk to corporations. So they need you to be a sole priority corporation so they can interface with you. Because a corporation can't charge an individual for a bill. They're interfacing two different entities. One is a real person, one is a corporation. So to fit them in the same pocket, they made one person be liable for a sole proprietorship as you would sign up for an LLC, and now your sole proprietorship is considered a corporation. It's no conspiracy. This is why your name and then capital letters and all that. We're not getting into no fake, they got money waiting for you. No. The money they do have for you is invested into the public. So, and how to get your money, because it's forever credit, is a different thing. The point is, you got to know this. Whole different thing. Okay, so once we know that person is corporations too, let's choose a different asset. Let's go to your Constitution. Which a lot of you, I guess, You people don't understand. And I didn't either, so I'm not attacking you. I just need us to understand because it don't seem like that's the order of some people's day. But then as soon as they get in trouble, now it's the order of their day. Then they pressing the issue. Let's go to we the people first. We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, to ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. Section 1, Article 1, and say the legislative powers herein granted shall be invested into the Congress of the United States. And the Congress of the United States consists of the Senate and the House of Representatives. House of Representatives used to have two houses. Used to have the higher house and the lower house. The lower house used to be like the indigenous people connected with the people in the colonies of the land and their needs and their wants that they was voting on and starting petitions for. And the higher used to be the state councils and the politicians. They used to be thinking the overall view of the economics on which been passed and how much debt they owe or da-da-da. And then they report to the feds, the Senates, and the Senates calculate and they make bills or different adaptations to what's going on in the economics. See what I'm saying? That's how we's all supposed to work together. Now you'll see when you study history that they cut the lower house off because the lower house was connected to us, which had our voice and we had our opinions that matter and we made things happen. So if we say, hey, we want to keep that a natural part, they had to keep that a natural part. And we voted on it. It ain't just like I can say it. It's all of us. That's what my point is. That's why I said I need y'all. So don't think I'm coming with some ego. My ego is the fact that I studied all this and our people are turn our back on a nigga like me and be like, fuck it. This is how Martin Luther King died. This is how Malcolm X died. You let one person know this type of knowledge. And that ostracizes him to say, all right, we got to get him. He's the threat. No, all of us should know this is common. It's in black and white. What's not common is the level of discernment that we should have to know what to do with this. So this is why I'm talking it so it can be in the collective data. But I act on it too. So anyway, we used to have big power. Not to mention, remember going back, it's just a trust. So we allowed them to be. Let's go back. Show you that we allowed them to be. Give me a second, y'all. We allowed them. Here we go. Give me 1 second. Make sure my people are here. Boom. Here we go. Got some other paperwork. Keep the handy dandy, man. Keep the handy dandy. Shout out to Adidas. You hear me, TC? There's our brands, right? That we can then shout out or invest in by just shouting out, I mean. You feel what I'm saying? You get what I mean? We sponsor by even buying stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Because their boat couldn't sail without us buying it. Or trading. Because that's how boats sail and their trade wins. See how our language is caught up in what we do? It's called land gauge, which means you only speak in the stuff that you know because it's how you engage on the land. But anyway, yes, if you read that while I'm doing this, the ratifications of the conventions of the United States shall be sufficient for the establishment of the Constitution, this Constitution between the states, so ratifying the same. As what happened is the Constitution was ratified, as you might not know or you should know, and whether you do it or not, what happens is they needed certain states to vote to make sure it can be ratified. Again, sorry the connection keep going out. Anyway, they needed states to vote so it can be ratified, right? Now what happened was they did a whole lot of I don't want to say no spiritual word like demonic. Let's say they did a whole lot of reneging. Ain't that funny? They call us Indian givers, and reneging means to give back. Ain't that funny? Or to take back. But they did a whole lot of false promising. Let's even give it a word because they ain't even take back. They ain't had nothing to take back. Their word was always false. What they did was did not stand on their principles. And I'm gonna show you how the treaties and stuff also add up. that it's the supreme law of the land. And if you don't claim that you're American, that you are the indigenous people that they call Indian, and that you're American, you want to get your name right. Indios means the children of God. This goes back all the way in Greece. They heard about this all the way in Greece. We're teaching people how to grow food. Now go back to my history channel on YouTube. You'll find out, and I explain that and I prove it. Again, I'm just trying to get back to the law and why and how it benefits us, knowing the law and what we should do about it. You gotta compartmentalize the knowledge, just like they did. This is why they moving efficiently, because they know how to share the duties. We don't. We don't want to share it till we're making somebody share the resources in the wealth. And it's like, nigga, where was you at when I was trying to make the wealth? So here we go. We're making the wealth. Again, be with me when I'm making the wealth. Don't wait till the wealth get here. You're like, well, why do? It's already there. It's already yours, but you need the knowledge. So anyway, I'm looking for the Morocco paper that proves at the end of this, they were showing that the words that they highlighted and changed on different papers, because the words, one word, look at that, the word, the, being underlined between the 7th and the 8th lines of the first page. One word changed the whole meaning of something. That's what I want to show you too. And then the second one shows you that this was done in the convention of the unanimous consent of of September of the year of our Lord of 1,700. $1,787. Sorry to keep pausing. But with that being said, paperwork party, right? In the year of our Lord, of what they say, let's go to it. 1,787 at the bottom, y'all, under Tess William Jackson secretary. See what I'm saying? So they tell you that this was made in 1787, right? This was the first ratification, because they got their independence in what? 1776. And let me show you on black and white who gave you that independence. This is what I mean by just showing. I know people need to see the paperwork, and it change your mind, and you'll say, what the fuck? And then people talk with so many hidden intentions like the Moors, or somebody else like, come join us, come, because I get that people, if y'all don't get it, people are the resources. This is why you have a human resources at every job. Anyway, but that scares you because you don't get why they're trying to, what's their hidden intention. And they don't tell you that. See, my intention is clear. I just want to let y'all know y'all American. And this is why the laws even mad at me, because they can't pick me in no category. You can't call me extremist, a black person. You can't call me extremist religion. I'm not into none of that. I'm American. You see? And I'm going to call them out as tyrant. I'm going to call them out as terrorists, because you're the one that had to be naturalized. The definition of a citizen is a person who had to be naturalized, because you're not natural to this environment. Look it up. I'll show you one here since I'm showing everything else, but give me a second. 1786. A year before, what? 1,787. Got the paperwork. Hold up. Let's show it. Hold up, man. Let me show it. In the year, peace and friendship. This is the peace and friendship of Morocco and United States, y'all. And I'm not one of them niggas that's with the Moors and say, please be a Moor. You gotta be a Moor. No, because some of them are taken over and they're Masons. And let me tell you, the over degree or the highest degree in the classism over there is the fact that you're American. Because we allowed still the Moors to do business over here, period, which was over here before the United States. And then the Morocco, which we was under a union, so we did the same thing the United States did. You couldn't interrupt or divide and conquer us by having us disorganized and trading with outsiders. So what we did was the same thing. We was like, hey, give your highest orders to the person who runs the highest orders. So just like the United States don't allow none of the individual states to make contracts with kings, we didn't want none of our individual tribes going into contract with other nations for real. But they can trade with other nations. This is where they get the idea of a republic from. But as far as like using a nation to take over another one, that was treason for real. Which they still did, because we ran a loose government. So this is what makes them and our government so alert, because they understand what they put their foot in their own mouth for real, and it's coming on them. And the only way we can balance this out is letting the people know who the fuck they are, and getting back to our resources on this land, because we got a lot of resources that we can use, and that the money could be backed by. So anyway, peace and friendship. This is between Morocco and the United States, y'all. Treaty sealed by the Emperor of Morocco, June 23rd, 1786, and delivered to American agent of Morocco, an agent. That's why I'm telling y'all. So excuse me when y'all be telling y'all, like, I love to just give y'all knowledge, but as far as hanging with niggas, like this personal people that know me, I be out here all like person hanging with everybody, bro. People, nah, bro, I'm not with that, bro. Because if you don't stand on these, you might think I'm tripping or I'm green because I stand on this and I ain't thinking about talking about who shot Dee Dee last night. You feel what I'm saying? And whole T, I will smoke this. So my point is that to me, even beyond that violent stuff, is like, how about even like my first charge? How I know you won't be an agent and get me into something? My first charge. And say something on my phone. Because you're an agent, and he's not American. He was a United States agent. See how they try to trick you? They don't use this word American on you so long. And I'm talking about Europeans and all these foreign people that you really think they as equal as you. No. There are foreigners. This was delivered to a foreigner of the United States who was playing as an American agent or American citizen where they was trying to get their freedom or trying to secure their freedom. I'm sorry, this is 1786 when they got their independence in 1776. So they were trying to secure their freedom because remember the Britons, the red coats, the Britons are here, the Britons are here. See, nobody wants war, everybody wants peace. So I want y'all to stop being scared because these people are as scared as y'all are. But anyway, the Britons wanted their ass back in their control because remember England was Britain's slaves. So tell them to stop what the fuck they're doing and stop lying to you and tell you that slaves came over here and started enslaving people ASAP. They was already slaves. Now, one of their missions was missionaries to try to conquer different things and stuff over here, but it didn't go how they wanted to. This was the whole point of the peace and friendship and the reason why we controlled the lands. Look up South Carolina and the Yamasee tribes, shout out to my people, and the Mayans, who controlled the Indian trails, who gave the rights to the United States to pave roads on certain trails. They couldn't do it without them giving the rights. Anyway, 1786, where Morocco, which is an empire, y'all, that proves that Africa and America had trade way before we even met a white person. That's what's going on. And the white people that we think come from Europe was trained and bred and inbreeded like genetics on a petri dish. Let's be real. I'm not trying to be facetious, racist. Again, I don't believe in it. But that's real because we had dark people in Europe, from King Charles to King Louis. French, yes, he was dark. With cornrows. So even look up the discovery of cornrows. Who started cornrows? Us or Africa? America or Africa? Anyway, let's keep reading. The American agent of Morocco, June 28, 1786. The additional article signed and sealed on behalf of Morocco, July 15, 1786. Ship signals agreeing, signed at Morocco, July 6, 1786. So that's another thing when somebody say, oh, this is not Morocco. They wasn't talking about America when they talk about Morocco. Hold up. Somebody was going to say, they're not talking about America when they say Morocco. When they say Morocco, they can't be talking about America. They're not talking about America. Even though they're talking about making trade and peace and friendship and making a treaty right here so they can stop having pirates snatch their stuff in between America and Africa because that's where the pirates was waiting at in the Atlantic Ocean. Anyway. Remember, this is 1786, y'all. And remember, the next year, 1787, the Constitution was allowed to be ratified, which I got up here, 1787. 1786, this is the reason why it was allowed to be ratified in 1787, not just because of the states. So I'm saying, keep reading while I'm holding it too, please, if I'm holding it close enough. But hold on, let me show you something about this. Okay. Marrakesh. Let me go back for you so you don't think I'm playing. Marrakesh, where is it at? Marrakesh, a former imperial city in western Morocco, which is the play on the names because Morocco used to be called Marrakesh. Pun intended. Why? Because now when you go to Marrakesh, you'll see founded by, hold on, let's even go back to who it founded. So you got everything counts. This is how you trace and do an investigation like they do on our people and charge them for racketeering like they do on our people. But y'all people don't love your people enough to do that. See, if you loved your people and you was black and you proud if you did, you'll be doing this research and say, hey, let's get all these people off of these RICO charges. See what I'm saying? You got Abu Bakr Ibn Umar, right? And I said his name wrong, but this is what we call, this is the richest man in Mali, brother, who made it over here to America and had it documented that he made it to America and was doing trades. Mansa Musa, there you go. Anyway, let's go to what I mean. That Morocco is Marrakesh, and in Marrakesh, in Arabic is that, and in Roman, because Romans did not know it was out west, that's why you're just playing pirates and waiting to us to get to Africa to try to steal our stuff. That's why we had to have treaties. Marrakesh in Roman times, or Romanized words, would be what? Maracus. Pronounced what? America. America, because the A is a prefix, was just given a descriptive enunciation, if you want to say. It's just like al, which is the in Arabic, or al, which al comes from al, because Arabic was made before Spanish, if y'all didn't know. And Arabic or Muslims was controlled in Spain. Did y'all know that? So Spain got their words and their phonetics off of Arabic. So they use el for the, but it's the same thing as al in Arabic. Anyway, to all persons whom this concern, 1 second, y'all. That person is. Anyway, reading this for y'all. To all the person with concerns. This is 1786, y'all, when it started. And because of this, like I showed you at first, at the bottom of this page in 1787, this was the ratification. This is only allowed because of you, and you don't even know it. Let's show it. 1786. Once it was delivered, the treaty additional articles ratified and proclaimed by the President of the United States on July 18th, 1787. And the next month in September, what? September 1787, on the 17th, they was allowed to fully have it ratified in what? Not just the land, but on the equitable side or the corporate side, which we call United States. See what I'm saying? Expired and replaced by 1837, by the Treaty of September 16th. And then 30 years later after that, we had a civil war. Because y'all think it was about just slavery. No, it was literally, you had immigrants over here who wasn't civilized and had no right to be over here, because they were still Europeans back from 1600s lineage that belonged to Britain in England. So they had to come up with ratifications, and we did too, so we can live in a better peace, because we knew they didn't want to go back. And now, 200 years later, they done tricks you into being on the same equal playing field as them, by hollering equity and harder than I'm black and I'm proud and I'm equal, and we didn't know who we was. That's what I mean. You gotta watch. That's agents inside of our peoples, bruh. From Rick James screaming I'm black and I'm proud to all these other agents, because they the ones that brainwash you to think that this shit was okay. So anyway, United States of America, His Majesty the Emperor of Morocco. The article is written in Arabic language, confirmed by His Majesty, and sealed in his royal seal, translated in the language of the United States of America. The attestations and the room. I wanted to show this part. Boom. I always keep notes on the side. Benjamin Franklin, y'all, was named Benjamin Bay. He was supposed to be here to deliver the letter, but he turned into a United States agent, like I was showing you, that they wasn't just American agents, but this is a play on words to make it seem like they belong here. Anyway, Benjamin Bay, who turned into a United States agent and changed his name to Franklin, was supposed to deliver this letter, but he didn't come, as you read, being absent by writing under the hand, say what? The treaty provided that the said treaty should be signed by said ministers, and whereas we, the said John Adams, who went, and Thomas Jefferson, and 2 other ministers with plenipotentiary, that said Benjamin Franklin being absent, he was supposed to go too, by writing under the hand and seal of the said John Adams at London, October 5th of the, 1785. So this was done in London. This is how long the years it's taken. This started in 85, and it wasn't completed until 87. But anyway, Benjamin Franklin didn't go because he started off as a Morocco subject. So his ass would have got locked up when he went back over there, which I'm not talking about Africa. I'm talking about inside the empire, which the empire was also in Spain too. It's over here too. But the Sultan at that time was in Spain or the tip of Africa. That's where he was, keeping himself safe at, because if they kidnapped him, then they got the whole kingdom. This is what chess was about. Anyway, I also want to prove that we was in the year 1200. And this is what Christmas is about, y'all. This treaty of peace and friendship between us and the United States of America, which is confirmed, which we have ordered to be written in a book and sealed by the royal seal of the court of Morocco on the 25th day and the 25th day of the blessed month of Shaban. That's December, y'all. December 25th. In the year of 1200, trusting in our God. They was in the year 1200 on the 25th of Shaban when they made this treaty. And this treaty is what secured their place in the United States. And that's what Christmas is about. And this is why it's black, red, and green fucking colors. Because that's Morocco colors. And they motherfucking made you trade your riches in your bloodline for obligations and duties that made you think you was going to be rich somehow. You traded value for not. This is what it says in the Bible. You work for not. You work for nothing. You traded your stuff for false premises. Anyway, you go to the end. Like I showed you in the 1200, I wanted to show you that they gave their vessel back to their majesty. And that they're not under Morocco's subject as long as they are in the trust. So this is what a trust is about. We trust that they was going to do what they was supposed to do, and they trust that we was supposed to do what we was going to do and not harm each other. But other than that, they gave their majesty back to their, and read this part. They gave their majesty, pause and read this. They gave their majesty back to their crown, which is Britain, y'all. So now, as their corporation, I want y'all to know y'all still working for Britain and not your people. Read this too. If any citizen of the United States should be killed or wounded more, or da da da, we had to have all this. Is in black and white. This is real. It's a contract. No joke. I gotta go to in a minute, man. Pause and read those. I'm coming with part 2 of what I mean in differentiating on why we should be moving different and what should be common knowledge so we can have equity. My bad. The sound is muffled. Good look, bruh. So we can have equity. Make sure y'all read yourself if the sound was muffled. Again, I'll be back to finish off with this paper showing y'all from 1787, the only reason why they secured that land and that contract was because we gave them that contract here in the Peace of Friendship of Morocco. It's on black and white, y'all. You can go print it out too. This is the treaty, and I'm showing you that they also finessed our time and our history. We are not in 2023 compared to us. We are in the 1500s inside of their Renaissance that they prophesied about. 1 second, Sean. That they prophesied about. That's the scary part. We allowed them to prophesize this shit and they doing it on us. That's the scary part, Sean. You know what I'm saying? So, hopefully y'all think what I'm saying and y'all understand that this is pertinent to how we gotta move. Because we got gangsters and all this other stuff acting violent, but we don't have no direction. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting dressed. We don't have no direction, Sean. You know what I'm saying? If we don't have no direction, we can't win nothing. We just in chaos, bruh. Then we're going to keep complaining every day. We're going to be talking about we black and I'm proud. We not. And then the news going to keep making us look stupid. Like, where's the black leaders at? And Dr. Umar Johnson going to keep getting on the YouTube talking about our school has not made it because, you know what I'm saying? So, to dodge all of that, we can individually be doing this. We already accidentally doing it. We got trappers and stuff getting money unaccounted for, you know what I'm saying? That's making them, which actually is causing inflation because even though they on a census because they was born so-called in the United States and they got a census and they have a birth certificate which makes that alerts the United States to let them know they're a taxable entity. So it fucks up their system because you're a taxable entity but you're not on a, so-called work labor schedule. But at the same time, there's no direction in what we're doing. We're not investing into our own resources. We got to invest into our own resources. We just can't keep holding their vouchers. At the end of the day, they still win because it's their Federal Reserve note. Unless we have some pull so we can make the laws bend for us too. And then we'll be cool with what they're doing. So it's not that I'm complaining because we got cars, we got nice stuff, we got freedom and stuff, we got all this. But what I'm saying is that the violence that we go through, the lack of resources that we have in our schools, the lack of knowledge from letting us have our equity, it's on purpose because they know literally it don't take that long for us like we did in Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that they burnt up, that we'll run the country like we supposed to. And then we end up running the world and saving the world like we supposed to. But I'm gone, y'all. Saving.